Hi everybody, it's Tom from FindTheBestCarPrice.com. Today we're going to take a look at the 2022 Honda Ridgeline RTL-E. This has the, well, kind of unusual, not something you see very often, HPD package. That's the Honda Performance Development Package. And on this particular model, the cost, the price on this model, because of dealer added features, and I'll tell you what those are as we get to them, $48,950. Yes, that is higher than what you would normally pay for the RTL-E, even with the HPD package. So, first of all, let's talk about what the HPD package gives you. The front grille is going to be part of that, just giving you a quick look at the features as to how that looks. It does have a little bit more of, at least in my opinion, a rugged look. It looks more rugged, more off-road equipped, necessarily not something that it does, but it just kind of gives that look. That's a good thing. Of course, you're going to have those LED headlights and LED fog lights down there on the lower portion of the bumper. Now, the 245/60 tires, this is something else that is part of this package, the Honda Performance Development or HPD package. The 18-inch alloy wheels, that's part of it. Now, one thing that's different here, you're going to notice that HPD logo there on the center cap, but you're also going to notice, if you're familiar with these trucks, that these are black wheels. Normally they're gold. Tell me which one you prefer down in the comments section. Do you like the black over the gold or the gold over the black? Additionally, you're going to find those fender flares. That really sets it off, kind of gives it that trail sport look of the Pilot. And then also, back here on the rear, on this steel reinforced bed, the HPD graphics. And keep in mind, guys, you can get this package on any trim level of the Ridgeline. So in case you're wondering about that, there you go, you have your answer. Also, the HPD logo. So that is what you get as far as the HPD package goes. Now, what has Holmes Honda added to increase the price on this truck as they have, for those of you who may be wondering? Number one, window tint. 40% on the front, 25% on these rear windows, and on the back window, it's going to be 12%. If you're not familiar with the percentages on window tint, basically that corresponds with the percentage of light that is allowed in through those windows. You will also find auto butler. What exactly is auto butler? Well, maybe not what it sounds like. It's actually a paint protection, kind of a wax of sorts that is actually wiped onto the vehicle, allowed to dry, and it adheres to the paint. You don't wash it off. It's supposed to last up to 5 years and basically provide protection for this very attractive color. Tell me down in the comments if you were going to buy, or maybe you already have, a Honda Ridgeline. What color do you have or would you like to have? You will also find a cargo tray in the truck as well. And basically that's it as far as those dealer added options. And here under the hood of this truck that comes standard all-wheel drive. If you're not familiar with these trucks, they used to come either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Now it's standard all-wheel drive as of the 2021 model year. Also standard is the 3.5-liter V6 that's here under the hood. It makes 280 horsepower, 262 pounds-feet of torque, mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. And as you take a look at the undercarriage of the truck, what about MPGs? 18 city, 24 highway, 21 combined, and 4.8 gallons of gas is what Honda says you should use per every 100 miles you drive. And no matter what some people might say in the comments section on these Ridgeline videos, it is a truck. What about its capabilities as a truck? Well, it can tow up to 5,000 pounds, between 3,500 and 5,000 pounds. The payload ranges between 1,509 and 1,583 pounds. Now, you can see that you have the conventional style bed here with the conventional style tailgate. Well, for the most part, at least. Before we go too much further, you will find 4 tie-down points, as you can see. And obviously, you can do a few things here you can't do with most trucks, because you don't have the large fender wells sticking up as high. So that gives you a little bit more cargo space, but that's not all you have. There's your all-wheel drive logo, but right here, just a little bit to the left and on the bottom of the tailgate right here, is another release. That allows you to swing the tailgate open, and there's a couple of different reasons why you might want to do that. It does make loading things easier. You also have in-bed audio here. That's kind of a cool feature. Doesn't have anything to do with loading or anything like that. Before I forget, I'll tell you about that. But here is one of the things that sets this truck apart from any other than, well, the Hyundai Santa Cruz, but that's not really officially a truck, but it does have a bed trunk like this. It's just not nearly this big. So what happens is you can store your floor mats back here, as the dealership has done. You can also fill this with ice. You can also partition it off. That's what those little areas are for right there. You can put the partitions in and have water and soda and whatever you want in some places, and whatever you want in other places, snacks and whatever. And when that ice melts down, very simple. All you have to do is pull that drain plug out and off you go. Let that drain. Very simple to use. You can also pull that tray out right there and gain access to the spare tire and the tools to change a tire if necessary. Also in-bed lighting, LED lighting, as you can see right there. I think I've got some footage somewhere I can hopefully show you that'll give you a good idea of what that looks like at night. So quite a bit of flexibility here as far as what this truck can do if you want to use it as a truck. Obviously it is a mid-sized truck, so gonna have some limitations where all of that is concerned. But I promise if you read down in the comments, you'll see a lot of owners of these Ridgelines talking about how much they love their truck. And before we hop into the interior, there is a quick look at the remote, lock, unlock, remote start, and the panic button right there. And everything you would likely expect to find here. You're gonna have all of your controls for your windows, door locks, window locks. You even have 2 settings for seat memory right there. You're gonna open your gas door with this button right here. And then if you're wondering where the child door locks are, well, they're actually right here on the rear doors themselves. So make sure if you hop back here and you're just checking things out, that at least one side is in the up position. You can push that down and then it's active, or if you want it to be turned off, it's in the up position. And quite a bit of space in that rear seat area. I'll give you a quick look at what is back there. As I start the truck up, you'll find under seat storage, and also you will find the rear air conditioning vents and a couple of power outlets back there, USB ports I should say. And then over here on the left hand side, controls for your heated power side view mirrors. They do have the turn signal indicators built in. You can turn econ mode on and off. And you do have Honda sensing here. So you're gonna have the features right here. You can turn those off if you want to, or back on. Traction control, lane keeping assist, road departure mitigation, blind spot monitoring, and adaptive cruise control. Quite a few great features here. And just showing you a quick look around the interior. A lot of people want to know if these vehicles have built-in navigation. Well, there's your answer right there. Yes, it does have built-in navigation, and a very simple to use or learn. Maybe this is your first time getting into this kind of technology, getting into a vehicle with this kind of technology. It's very easy to learn, very easy to use. It's no problem. Like I said, you've got your in-bed truck audio right there. This truck does have that feature. Dual zone climate control. Actually, it's tri-zone climate, but dual zone climate control because you control all 3 zones from right here. As you can see, your start-stop button. And one thing about these trucks in the US as opposed to Canada, you only have heated seats. Going into the high 90s today in Northwest Louisiana, it's not even May 15th yet. And so we don't need that. And then a lot of connectivity. I told you about the 2 back there. There's 2 more in the front seat as far as USB ports go. You also have 2 12-volt power outlets. There's one 12-volt, one USB. There is your wireless charging pad. And then you've got the push button shifter right here. Tell me if you're a fan of that. Tell me if you're not, and tell me why not. Tell me why you answered the way you did. And as far as storage goes, well, you can open the kind of garage door style, at least that's what I think of when I see that. Lid for the console, and then you have another 12 volt right here and another USB port, and a lot of space down there in that rear area. And also, let's see if we can give you a good shot here. It's the conventional size, but you do have the power sunroof that does open, power sliding sunroof. Let's see, does it have the conversation mirror? Indeed it does. That way you can talk to your kids with your eyes in the back seat when you're not driving down the road but sitting still somewhere, and can safely do that. It is kind of interesting to close that. There we go, we got that to close. There is the control for your power sliding moonroof or sunroof, depending on what you want to call it. And then here is the button for controlling that power sliding rear window. See if I can give you a look at that. There we go. That opens up, and that basically leaves us with the test drive. All right, we're going to hop out onto the road here for our test drive. And one thing that I want to make sure I cover here, the driving modes, and only a couple that I can really talk about here, because obviously we don't have sand or snow or mud to drive in or anything like that. I don't think the dealership would like for me to get the truck dirty, but it is what it is. But here's the thing. Basically, when you consider the different driving modes, if you're wondering, well, what exactly do those do? What's the difference between Econ and, say, Sport, or what a lot of people call sequential, which is simply just Sport mode? If you're wondering what the differences are in those, basically it doesn't change how much horsepower the truck is putting to the ground. It changes how quickly that horsepower gets to the ground. And so when you're in Econ mode, for example, if you floor the gas pedal, what you're going to find is that it takes longer for the RPM of the engine to climb than it will, say, in Sport mode. So there you go, just kind of a simple way. It just kind of regulates basically how quickly the RPM of the engine goes up, and obviously that determines how quickly the truck gets down the road, how quickly it accelerates, and well, you can kind of figure it out from there. It's pretty easy to deal with. So let's talk about the overall driving experience here. I'll tell you what, having the independent rear suspension, this makes this truck very unique in the fact that it has, well, a very non-traditional truck-like ride quality, such as that Ford F-150 that we're passing right there. This truck rides a lot better. It has a very smooth driving experience. The ride quality is anything but truck-like, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have a lot of the truck capabilities and functionality that you might want. Obviously, being a mid-sized truck, I wouldn't compare it to something like that F-150 back there or any other full-size truck, the Ram 1500, the Chevrolet Silverado 1500s, and so forth, because, well, it obviously isn't in the same category as those are. But the truck is easy to drive. It's very maneuverable. That's another advantage to the way this truck is built, is that it has a tighter turning radius than you would have with a lot of more traditional trucks out there. And even though it is spec'd for towing, it's not going to tow a gooseneck or anything like that, but nobody's going to buy this truck for that purpose. But overall, a very comfortable truck. The ride quality is comfortable, but so is the seating. And that might sound kind of strange, but believe it or not, there are vehicles out there on the road, well, where one basically cancels out the other. You have smooth ride quality, but uncomfortable seating, or you have uncomfortable ride quality and comfortable seating. So it's kind of an interesting thing to deal with. Here you have a nice balance. The technology is easy to learn. I've said that already in the video, but it goes without saying that, well, it's important because there's still so many people out there on the road who still have vehicles that don't have this kind of technology, the infotainment system and all that kind of stuff. It's easy to use, easy to learn. Don't worry about it. You'll get used to it if you're maybe on the fence, so to speak, saying, man, I'm just not so sure I'm ready to buy that kind of technology yet. But there are vehicles out there where it's harder to learn than it is here. Comfortable steering wheel. The gas pedal is very responsive, and the brake pedal seems to be well balanced. Now, these are a couple of those things that I like to talk about, where basically what it amounts to is you really need to drive the vehicles for yourself. And the reason I say that is because my feedback is really based more so on my daily driver, what I have the most experience in. So I might tell you that the brake pedal and the gas pedal act a certain way. You might hop in the vehicle and say differently. I might say the brake pedal's too aggressive. You might say, man, I think it's balanced perfectly. What are you talking about? It's too aggressive. So it just boils down to you needing to experience everything for yourself. But I try and give you the best feedback that I possibly can, and hopefully that's helpful.
To learn more about the model in today's video, visit the link in the description for a detailed comparison between trims and pricing for the vehicle we featured, or any vehicle you may be interested in. These pages feature information such as our recommended trim level based on price, value, and features. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. We look forward to seeing you next time.